At the beginning, a young woman is seen loading some furniture onto a moving truck. She is preparing to leave this place and move far away. But the strange thing is that her behavior clearly suggests something is wrong. She seems distracted. She even flinched when she heard a car horn on the road. Her name is Jessica. Jessica has already left the populated area and is now driving along a mountainous road. At this moment, she notices a black car. The car refuses to give her any space to pass. However, when Jessica manages to overtake it, the black car desperately tries to overtake her in return. Jessica narrowly escapes an accident. Even after that, the black car continues to follow her. After some time, when the car finally takes a different road, Jessica feels relieved. Later that night, she stops at a gas station to refuel her car and calls her family. From the conversation, it becomes clear that Jessica has left home suddenly without informing anyone. It seems she is dealing with a serious personal issue. While she is talking on the phone, she suddenly notices something. The same black car she saw earlier in the morning has now pulled up in front of the gas station. Seeing the car again makes Jessica feel uneasy. After all, the driver had already given her enough trouble earlier. That night, Jessica stays at a hotel. The next morning, as soon as she gets back into her car, a stranger approaches her and introduces himself. "Do you recognize me?" he asks. "I'm the owner of that black car." The man then apologizes, saying, "I'm really sorry for what happened yesterday. I didn't do anything intentionally. It was my mistake." After apologizing, the man leaves, and Jessica resumes her journey. But after driving some distance, she finds herself on a deserted road where, once again, the same black car blocks her path. The stranger approaches Jessica and claims that his car has suddenly broken down. He then asks Jessica for a lift, pleading with her repeatedly. However, Jessica firmly refuses, saying she doesn't have time. Later that night, the black car appears again. Seeing it, Jessica tries to escape, but unfortunately, another car appears in front of her, forcing her to stop. The man once again tries to talk to Jessica, but she manages to drive away. Alone on a deserted road late at night, Jessica speeds up, hoping to lose the black car. But it still doesn't stop following her. Out of desperation, she calls emergency services and reports that a car has been following her for a long time. However, she soon realizes that the car behind her is not the same black car. The emergency operator gives her an officer's contact number and tells her to call if she faces any danger in the future. Shortly after, Jessica suddenly loses control of her car and gets stuck on the deserted road. She steps out and discovers that the tire of her moving truck is punctured. Upon closer inspection, she notices a strange mark on the tire as if someone deliberately punctured it. Just then, she sees the black car approaching her. Realizing the danger, Jessica quickly unlocks her moving truck and rushes to sit inside her car. But before she can start the engine, the stranger smashes the car window with a rod and breaks inside. As Jessica tries to escape, the man injects her with something, making her unconscious. When Jessica regains consciousness, she finds herself in a basement room. She desperately tries to look outside, trying to figure out where she is. She screams for help, hoping someone will hear her. Hearing her cries, the stranger from the black car steps in and warns her, "Stay quiet, or I'll slit your throat." The stranger's name is Sam. Later that night, Sam enters Jessica's room. Jessica begs him to let her go and even offers him all the money she has. But Sam isn't interested in her money. With a disgusting smirk, he tells Jessica in a creepy voice, "If you really want to give me something, then do one thing. Take off your clothes and come to me completely naked." Hearing this, Jessica is completely shattered. What is this man saying? She is terrified but does not lose her wits. Without resisting Sam's words, she pretends to need to use the bathroom, planning to escape. However, Sam catches her and violently drags her by the hair to a corner of the room. Sam then takes Jessica's tablet and plays a video of her and her husband. Jessica becomes even weaker upon seeing it. Her husband is no longer alive, he had died. This is the reason Jessica hasn't been able to return to a normal life. She deeply loved her husband and couldn't accept his death. At this moment, Sam rips the chain from Jessica's neck, which had a locket with a picture of her and her husband. Seeing Jessica in immense pain, Sam begins touching her inappropriately. Sam is a mentally deranged predator, a monster who preys on vulnerable women, taking advantage of their emotional distress to force himself on them. Not only does he sexually assault them, but he also physically abuses them, just like he is doing to Jessica. The next morning, Jessica desperately tries to unlock the door to her room. Fortunately, the key is stuck in the lock from the other side, giving her a chance. She takes off her jacket and removes a nail from the wall. She then pushes her jacket slightly under the door and uses the nail to nudge the key out, making it fall onto the jacket so she can retrieve it. Once she has the key, she unlocks the door from the inside and moves upstairs in Sam's house. But just then, seeing Sam coming from outside, Jessica quickly hides. While hiding in the shadows, Jessica starts trembling with fear. She overhears Sam lying on the phone to his wife and child. Yes, this mentally deranged man had a wife and child. After talking to his family for a long time, Sam hangs up and goes to another room. Seizing the opportunity, Jessica runs out, unlocking the door. She dashes madly through an unfamiliar place surrounded by a dense forest, desperate to save her life. Meanwhile, as soon as the evil Sam realizes that Jessica has escaped, he sets out to find her. Not far from where she started running, Jessica trips and falls after getting hurt. She looks down and sees a sharp stick embedded in her foot. Enduring immense pain, Jessica manages to pull the stick out. But at that moment, Sam spots her. However, Jessica refuses to give up and, limping, pushes forward until she reaches a river. Sam arrives there too. Left with no choice, Jessica leaps into the deep, fast-flowing river. Nearly drowning, she struggles across to the other side. She then grabs a stick to support herself as she moves forward, barely able to walk because of her injured foot and the exhaustion from jumping into the river. As she keeps moving, Jessica constantly feels like someone is around her. Hiding behind a tree, she hears footsteps. It seems like someone is secretly following her. And then she sees a man approaching. As soon as the man gets close, Jessica strikes him with the stick. But it turns out that the man is not Sam, it is someone else. His name is Robert. Seeing Jessica, Robert points a gun at her. Jessica, terrified but desperate, pleads for help. She tells Robert, "Please help me. A mentally deranged man is trying to kill me." Robert hands her a phone to call for help and, noticing her injured foot, takes out a pair of shoes from his car for her to wear. Jessica gets into Robert's car, and they set off to leave the forest. But just a short distance down the road, they find a large tree fallen across their path. The tree is so big that the two of them cannot possibly move it. It seems as if life has trapped Jessica in a relentless nightmare, where death looms over her every step like a shadow. Because in that brief moment, Sam once again finds Jessica, this time in his black car. As the vehicle approaches, Jessica panics. Robert tries to protect her. But Sam acts cleverly, he pretends to be Jessica's family. Sam starts behaving strangely, putting on an act in front of Robert. He tells Robert, "Jessica is my sister. She has mental health issues, and she ran away from home." Despite Jessica's desperate attempts to convince Robert otherwise, Robert falls for Sam's act. He believes that Jessica might actually be mentally unstable and that Sam is telling the truth. Sam then grabs Jessica tightly, pretending to be relieved, and says, "Where have you been, sister? After you left home, I couldn't find you anywhere." Jessica is terrified and begs Robert, "If you don't believe me, check Sam's phone. Call the police so they can verify that this man is not my family. He is trying to kill me." Saying this, Jessica pushes Sam away and starts running again. Her words plant a seed of doubt in Robert's mind. He decides to call the police. But before Robert can make the call, Sam suddenly tackles him to the ground and starts punching him repeatedly. When Robert becomes too weak to resist, Sam takes his gun and shoots him dead. Now, Sam resumes his hunt for Jessica. As the evening sets in, Jessica finds a place to hide, knowing that Sam will not give up so easily. But after some time, as soon as Jessica steps outside, Sam hears her and fires his gun. Jessica is wounded, but she refuses to give up. She collapses on the ground and, dragging her body, tries to hide in the darkness. Meanwhile, Sam keeps taunting her, trying to lure her out. He shouts, "Wherever you are, come out. If you keep losing blood for more than 2 hours, you'll die anyway. You've been shot, after all." Even when Jessica does not come out, Sam tosses his gun aside and says, "Look, I don't have a gun anymore." He even tries to break Jessica's spirit by mentioning her late husband. Sam sneers, "What kind of coward was your husband that he killed himself? Are you just as weak as him?" He says this in an attempt to provoke Jessica into revealing herself. But Jessica understands his cunning tactics and stays hidden, enduring everything in silence. The next morning, Jessica wakes up to find herself lying under a tree. As she cautiously moves forward, she sees Sam taking Robert's lifeless body out of the car and burying it in the ground. Seizing this opportunity, Jessica sneaks towards Sam's car and gets inside. But, unfortunately, she cannot find the keys. Seeing Sam returning, she quickly grabs a phone from the car and hides in the back. When Sam starts the car and drives, Jessica, still hidden, calls the police and asks them to track the phone's location. Meanwhile, Sam, unable to find his own phone, stops the car to search for it. At that moment, sensing danger, Jessica grabs a tool from the vehicle and strikes Sam on the head with full force. Caught off guard by the unexpected attack, Sam loses control. A brutal fight breaks out between them inside the moving car. At one point, Jessica grabs a knife and stabs Sam. The car veers off the road, crashes, and flips over completely. After the horrifying crash, Jessica slowly crawls out of the wreckage. Looking up, she sees a helicopter flying over the jungle. She stands up and starts shouting for help. Meanwhile, Sam also manages to escape from the car. Jessica quickly finds Sam's phone and retrieves his wife's number. She calls Sam's wife and exposes the truth, telling her that her husband is a mentally deranged murderer. Sam, witnessing his true identity being revealed to his wife, is utterly shocked. He never imagined that this seemingly weak and helpless girl could show such courage. Overcome with fury, Sam grabs a knife and charges at Jessica. But by this time, Jessica has conquered her fear. As the saying goes, never scare someone so much that they forget the meaning of fear itself. Jessica has reached that point. She is no longer mentally weak. The past few days, filled with Sam's torment and the horrors she endured, have made her mentally stronger than ever before. As Sam lunges to attack, Jessica retaliates, using a metal rod to strike him fiercely. Sam fights back, attacking Jessica repeatedly. But in the end, Jessica stabs him with a knife and kills him. Finally, justice is served. A mentally deranged monster meets his end at the hands of a woman who refused to give up. Jessica's struggle for freedom serves as an example to society, showing that if you have courage, you are never weak. Make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss out on more videos like this. Thanks for watching.